Hello, I'm Donna and I'm from Gummy Doolittle. Today I would like to share one of my recipes that was my mother's, and this is something that she made for us when we were smaller children. We lived out in the country and supplies were very limited, so this is a smaller portion of a chocolate gravy. You can go online and you can come up with several different versions of chocolate gravy. Some called it a chocolate sauce. This is her recipe and this is written in her hand. So I'm going to let you know what's in here. This is her chocolate gravy and I'm going to be using some Hershey's unsweetened chocolate today. She would use a 1/4 cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of all unsweetened cocoa, unsweetened cocoa powder, 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour, and in her saucepan she would add her butter and melt it, and then she would add the milk and stir that up, and then add all of the dry ingredients to that. Now she would stir until it became the consistency that she wanted. She most likely poured it over homemade biscuits, possibly leftover mashed potatoes. There could have been maybe other things that she might have poured it over for us, or we could have just had a little small bowl of it. It was a very special treat for us. On her recipe, she wrote a little note, and I'd like to read it to you. It says, "Sarah and I always cooked my gravy in a frying pan. We didn't have saucepans. We had cast iron skillets. She said if I didn't have butter, then I would do without." Now, Sarah is my youngest daughter, and when my mother lived with me, she would make chocolate gravy for both my daughters, Melissa and Sarah. So this is a very special recipe that's been passed down. Now, here's the fun part of this. I have never made my mama's chocolate gravy. That's sad, but my mom always made it. She liked making it, and it was a big treat, and it was very special to her to make it for all of us, so I really had no reason to make it. Other than when I challenged Linda with my leftover mashed potatoes, and I made Mom's fried potato patties, or you can call them fried potato cakes. And when I challenged my sister, we decided to open this up and see if anyone else had a special recipe from a parent, a grandparent, or any of the other relatives, maybe even a neighbor next door. So come and join me. I'm going to be adding in my sugar, my flour, my unsweetened cocoa. I'm going to give this a little bit of a stir here. In my saucepan, I'm going to be adding in my tablespoon of butter. I'm going to add my milk. I'm going to take this over to the stove, and I'm going to start warming the butter and the milk up. I'm going to do it together, and then I will add my dry ingredients from there. I have my butter and my milk on the stove now, and my butter is melting. And my mother always added the butter first and then poured her milk in. I didn't, because I kind of forgot. And like I said, I've never made this before, so bear with me. I'm not even sure how it's going to taste. I think that it will be as delicious as it was when we were children. Actually, it may not be, because as a child, we were very happy to have a special treat, especially one that was chocolatey and sweet. We may have had this during our birthday, which 3 of us children had our birthday in May, and which is my sister and my youngest brother, Jerry. We could have had this, more likely it was poured over my mother's leftover homemade biscuits. Now, I don't do homemade biscuits. I do have my mother's recipe, but my sister Linda can make biscuits, and every time I go and visit with her, I always ask for her biscuits and her sausage gravy. She's good at it. She gets out her bowl, she throws in a couple of handfuls of flour, a pinch of salt, a pinch of this, a pinch of that, a little dash of this, And next thing I know, she's pinching off some biscuits and putting them in a buttered pan, flipping them over one way or the other, and they come out totally delicious. And it's always a special treat for me when I visit with Linda in Georgia, because I know I'm going to get biscuits and gravy, maybe chicken and dumplings, maybe a cobbler, you never know. This is the month of December, and it's always on our mind, and we think of our mother a lot during this month, and we're celebrating her life. She was very special to us, and in this little silver locket that I have here, I have a picture of my mother in there, and I do wear my locket when I travel. I wear it on special occasions, and this is a special occasion today. So if you have a recipe from the past and you remember something special about it as a child, whether you actually show us the recipe or cook the recipe and you'd just like to share a story, please come on and join us. This is a lot of fun. We, Linda and I, challenge you to share some memories of the past. Christmas is a wonderful time. It's a time to remember our loved ones. It's a time to celebrate with our loved ones in our home or in their home. And it's just fun, a lot of fun. And this year, I think we all need a little bit of fun. We all need a little bit of joy in our life and good spirits and good blessings. And having our loved ones close to us will definitely bring that pleasure to us. And I'm sure if you cook up something special, I would almost bet you the grandchildren, the great-grandkids, and maybe you have great-great-grandchildren that would love to have a special treat, maybe some chocolate gravy, a special pie, even a homemade candy and fudge. So hang on a minute, I'm going to serve this up and we'll get some good opinions. It's bubbly, it's thick, it's just perfect. Okay folks, my chocolate gravy is finished, and doesn't this look delicious? You can make it to any thickness that you would like. My husband's going to have his chocolate gravy on top of his potato, a baked potato. When he was a young man, his mother and grandmother made chocolate gravy, and it probably was served on homemade biscuits, as it would have been with my mother. I'm going to have my chocolate gravy on top of a little Carb Smart ice cream, just so I don't have all of those carbs from the potato. Now, let's give it a try and see how this tastes. Looks like hot fudge for my ice cream. Okay, folks, there you are. Chocolate gravy over ice cream. It's totally delicious, and it brings back a lot of memories when I was a child. My siblings and I always enjoyed our mother's cooking, and she always had something special for us. Come and join us, share a recipe, maybe a story of some foods that you may have had during your childhood or teen years, and please share. We would love to have you. Have a great holiday.